What is up, my friends? How are you guys doing today? Hope everybody's having a great day. Thriving, striving, looking good, smelling good. You know who you are. You're doing great, Bubba. Keep it up. Man, today, guys, we're going to be talking about a movie from 1989. It's called Arena, and it's directed by Peter Manoogian. All right, guys, that last name took me a minute. Had to look it up. Manoogian, right? This, guys, is one of, I just discovered it like a couple years ago. Well, hold on. Before we get started, you know the drill. Like and subscribe. I looked this up a couple years ago, right? I was just looking for something to watch. And there it was on Prime to stream. And I said, okay, this looks cool. I mean, you guys saw the box art. You saw the box poster, right? That looks cool. Face to face, squaring off with an alien, creature or whatever. Like, that's cool. I said, let's check it out. And so what I did is I watched it, and it blew me away. I wished I'd have seen this back in 1989 when I was like 6, 7 years old, because this would have, I'd have been talking about this movie to this day, telling people to get it. I probably own 4 different copies of it. I absolutely loved it. Let's get into the story of it. It stars Paul Satterfield, right? I don't know if Paul's ever been in anything else. I didn't look it up. I don't care if he's been in anything else because he ain't that great of an actor, but in this, he was the shining star. Man, so this is about, for thousands of years, humans, there have been intergalactic tournaments like Dragon Ball Z, right? Strongest warriors from all over the universe, galaxy. They come in and they start squaring off with each other. And so, we have a human. Humans ain't won, Earth ain't won something in a long time, but we got a guy named Steve, right? Generic Steve, just Steve. He comes in and he's like, I'm going to start training to be an intergalactic cage fighter. And I was like, you've got me. I love MMA. I love combat sports. You got me at intergalactic cage fighting. So I'm sitting there and I'm checking this out. I'm watching it. It has got, for 1989, it has got some beautiful special effects. I mean, the creatures in this, these are guys in suits like Predator, Alien, guys in suits with prosthetics and stuff like that. And this is just, we've got a guy named Horn. He's our main villain. He's our champion of champions. He's the guy that Steve has got to take out. And you know what? He looks awesome. He's half like Cyborg. He looks kind of like Deathlock from Marvel. And he's like half Cyborg on one side. He's like half Taran from Warcraft on the other side with horns and all this stuff. Hence the name Horn. And he looks fantastic. And then there are other alien races throughout this whole film that look incredible. And I'm so glad that it was the 1980s, the late 80s, early 90s, because they're all beautifully practical. They're all makeup and liquid latex and prosthetics and corn syrup with food coloring. Everything is artistic and it's beautifully made. I mean, sure, kids nowadays, they probably go back and watch it and be like, God, that looks terrible. That is derpy, as they say. But dude, for me, I'm going back as a 7-year-old, right? I'm going back to 1989, and I am watching this in my mind as a kid, and I am loving every minute of its beautiful special effects, of its stupid story, because it's a dumb story. But how many stories have there been of people like I said before, my prime example is Dragon Ball Z. It's animated, but it's basically a story about strong aliens fighting each other in galactic tournaments to make sure that their world doesn't get destroyed, right? That's cool. And this story being live action and having kind of that same premise was so freaking cool, man. Like, I loved it. I loved the special effects. Now, you have guys in suits, like Ninja Turtles, right? In the first Ninja Turtle film. You've got guys in suits, and you've got them doing martial arts and all this kind of stuff. So sometimes it looks a little clunky. It looks a little goofy. It's not as smooth as a CGI fight. but by God, they did the best they could, and the editing was so well that the fights looked manageable. They didn't look great. They didn't look super choreographed or anything like that, but they looked serviceable. They looked like they were actually fighting, and I appreciated that. I loved that. I thought that was great because they really, you could tell it was a labor of love. You could tell that the people involved in it really were enjoying making this film, putting on their costumes and doing their thing. Now, Peter Manoogian, like I said, I didn't look him up, but if he made anything else like this, I would watch it. In fact, I may go look him up and see what they've got, what he's done. See if there's anything similar to Arena, because I would watch that. Because it was just a lot of fun. Like, this movie takes me back to films, like I said, Predator, Alien, Split Second, all these different films with creatures in them. And now, there are a lot of creatures in this, so it's not like they devoted their budget to one singular monster and made him look the best he could. But you have a whole roster of these different alien fighters and monsters, and so their budget went to making them look as good as they possibly could with what they had, and for that they did excellent. It was excellently crafted. Like I've said before in this review, the special effects are beautiful. Now, none of the actors in this, even Paul Satterfield, none of the actors in this I've ever seen in anything else that I can recall. Okay, but their acting was good. It was entertaining, and I got engaged in the characters, right? I really did. I loved Steve, as generic as Steve was, blonde hair, blue eyes, looks like Flash Gordon, but he wants to fight. And another kind of thing that I enjoyed about the story was it's not like a human's going in there and he's just fighting these alien monsters at a deficit. He's not fighting with a handicap. When they get into the arena, it's like a power modifier or a power regulator where it makes everybody on a level playing field. I thought that was really cool in the story, how they did that to be like, this is why your guy from Earth isn't getting his butt stomped in, So I thought that was cool. I liked the story overall. I liked the acting. I loved the special effects. I liked the story. It is something you definitely have to check out, guys. If you're a fan of old 80s science fiction, 80s monster movies, if you're just a fan of just fun cinema, just something you can sit back, eat some popcorn, drink a soda, eat some gummy bears, and just zone out. Forget about your troubles for an hour and 30 minutes. This is the movie for you. I highly recommend it, guys. You can check it out on Prime Video. That's the only place it's streaming. But if you find it, watch it. I promise you'll like it. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for stopping in. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon, my friends.